once again, I know exactly nothing about the Seacons other than, wow, I didn't realize that the Decepticons have so many combiner teams.
Yeah, no, they pretty much match the Autobot point for point. G1 combiners pretty much match point for point, except for Devastator, who has no counterpart, or Monstructor, who has no counterpart, and Piranacon.
Piranacon?
The Seacon's combined form, who manages to make a 5-man combiner out of a 6-man team. I think it's pretty cool. He didn't last long in the Marvel comics.
Not surprising. The Marvel comics seem to kill a lot of people.
Yeah, but like, no, he died in the same arc he was introduced in, and that was, well, because, so the explanation they used to explain who survived the Underbase saga was, oh, everyone with organic components integrated, so any form of master or pretender, they got off fine. They lived.
Well,
and those were pretty much all the new toys.
Yeah, that's what I figured. But we'll visit the... Oh.
The Seacons were also new toys, and they did not have organic components.
Oh. Well then. As I was going to say, how should I put this? God damn it, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say... oh, yeah. It's interesting how many we'll go into the Underbase saga eventually. And it's also interesting just how many combiner teams are just on the Decepticon side of all different forms. Anyway. Let's go into this. I don't even know the name of the combiner.
The basic second anniversary month, I thought I'd get a little personal again and take a look at some old favorites of mine who are in the news again at the minute. This week, it's the basics on those marine menaces, the Seacons.
Oh, this must have been when they got their new toy announced.
The Seacons are a team of Decepticons originally released in 1988.
Can I just say something while we're starting? That toy arm doesn't look right.
What, you mean the big fucked up arm?
Yeah.
That's not an arm. The 6 member's the gun.
Oh. There's a 6 member.
I told you, it's a 5-man combiner made up with a 6-man team.
Piranacon is its name. Wow.
He's also the core of another team called Scramble 7 in Japan. So Japan absolutely loved to mix and match combiner teams and then never use those mix and match forms for anything.
Oh.
And one of them is a Decepticon combiner that uses the Seacon's ability to form into guns to make a 7-man combiner.
Wait, what? So just
2 guns. I'm pretty sure it kept Turtler as the torso. And then mix and match the rest from the other Decepticon teams.
Okay. Anyway.
Transform into monstrous sea creatures. The team consists of Overbite, a shark always obsessively hunting for his next victim.
Arm shark.
Reconnaissance operative Seawing, an eerie manta ray who delights in spreading fear and aims to ascend to Decepticon high command. The repellent Scalor, a sea
I don't even know what the fuck this one is.
I don't know either. Stench wherever he goes.
Scalor.
Demolitions expert Tentakill, a cruel squid
who lures his victims in for the kill by
deceiving them with kindness.
All I'm getting from this is they are weird monster fish.
Yeah.
Decepticons. Not like actual
anyway,
fish.
Tentakill got repainted into a girl for Beast Wars 2nd.
It raises questions and questions I don't want the answer to.
I mean, look at that mold. You telling me that couldn't be a girl?
I'm not sure how to even just say what I thought.
Apply some fucking lipstick. Give her anime eyes. Congrats, you now have Skilla, Stalker Supreme.
I didn't need any of these, and it's Scylla.
I'm just going by how the anime pronounced it, Wolfington.
Seafloor salvage operative Nautilator,
I see no issues with this one.
Lobster who's
he's a lobster.
Ill-suited to working underwater.
He's also completely, incompetent. He fucks up.
Oh,
His defining character trait is no one likes him. He screws up. He, for some reason, sounds exactly like Megatron in IDW.
That's weird.
It only came up once because Worrell blew his head off mid-interrogation.
Oh, what
And he only lived that long because Worrell was fascinated by the fact that that he sounded just like Megatron.
Of course.
Then he got bored with the bit and killed him.
Whose tortoise mode's nearly invulnerable shell allows him to storm any battlefield with ruthless efficiency. The team combines to form Piranacon, a single-minded killing machine of incredible power. Snaptrap forms Piranacon's torso, while the smaller Seacons form his limbs, each able to become either an arm or a leg.
Those arms and legs don't look right.
Able to mix and match with the other combiner teams designed the same way. While these other combiner teams had only 5 members, the Seacons had 6.
What?
So, he's almost universally depicted with Overbite as the gun, which is kind of funny because canonically, they supposedly normally force Nautilus to be the gun on the grounds. They notice they perform worse when he's part of the mental merge.
Oh. Interesting. I'm guessing because he's known for the screw-ups. That's why they don't prefer... Yeah, that's why.
Each of the small Seacons could also transform into a weapon mode, and the 6th member becomes a gun for Piranacon.
They also had stands so you could display them in weapon mode.
Marketed as Target Masters.
See, the anime version looks a lot better.
Interchangeable combiner team released in the
that was a
original
commercial.
toy line.
They put an extra
unlike
effort for
their
those.
predecessors, they had no direct counterpart on the Autobot side.
Which is strange.
The Seacons were introduced into the Marvel comic book in stories exclusive to the UK edition of the series. Summoned to Earth by Shockwave, where they defended the Decepticons' undersea base against an attack by Galvatron. Famously, the UK comic mistakenly referred to Overbite with his abandoned pre-production name, Jawbreaker.
That's not a bad name,
The team would later go on to appear in the American
Oh boy, Double D!
Blaster when he attempted to interfere with their recovery of a pair of Autobot...
Oh my god. I didn't think we were going to get a reference to Ed and Eddie here, but you know. Fun fact, when I...
about Jawbreakers, that's what comes to mind.
Fun fact, when I was a little kid, my mother refrained from watching that because she thought it was a bad show and would have a bad influence on me. I watched it anyway, just when she wasn't around.
It was a fun show. It was one of the last pieces of hand-drawn animation on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how well drawn it was.
That's what effort gets you.
Yep.
Data tapes from the seabed. The data on the tapes led to the ancient Cybertronian database, the Underbase,
the data tapes were
the cosmic power of which was then stolen by Starscream, who used it to offline the Seacons, killing the poor guys off only 3 issues after their US debut.
Wow.
Though they were released too late to feature in the original Transformers animated series, the Seacons did appear in 1988's Japanese exclusive sequel series, Super God Masterforce.
They explode at the slightest touch.
In this series differed greatly from their characterization in Hasbro markets. Here,
an endless swarm of drones and Turtler.
So they're like the Insecticons.
No, more like the Viacons. The drones are cheap, they're mass-produced, they explode with a single shot, and frankly, they're being thrown up against Godmasters, so even their combined form doesn't accomplish much.
Huh. And I just like his name is Turtler. Here for some reason.
Or Turtler, as he was called in Japan, was a normal transformer. The other Seacons were all animal-like drones. They couldn't speak, and they existed in vast numbers, serving as an endless legion of expendable foot soldiers that were frequently destroyed by the Autobots. None of the Seacons even transformed in the series, except into their combined form, known as King Poseidon in Japan. But they did get a cheerful image song on the Masterforce soundtrack, sung by Turtler's voice actor Masato Harada.
Why? What the hell?
Wolfie, are we going to hell now?
What?
He said the number.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. You got an image song. Ginrai probably had one.
I didn't know this was really a thing in Japan.
Image songs? God, no. They're all over the place.
This is not something I expected to find out about, so I don't even know.
In fairness, I didn't know about them either. Well, I knew about the Seacons. I didn't know about the image song I meant.
The song for the Seacons?
Yeah. The Seacon song.
I didn't expect it to have either. Anyway, we'll be heading forward and seeing what the hell is going on with the Seacons.
King Poseidon would later return in 1990's Transformers Zone, one of 9 demon
another one of
generals
these.
gathered from throughout Decepticon
Every Decepticon
history.
combiner was there.
Oh.
10 years after their original release, in 1998,
those
the
colors
Seacon
look a lot
toys
better.
were recolored in white,
Yeah, these are the
green,
Beast Wars
and
2
gold,
ones.
and
They
re-released as part of the
dropped their
Japanese series
Nautilator.
Beast Wars 2nd.
Oh, they don't have the
This series
6th one.
reimagined them as a new group of characters distinct from the originals. The Space Pirate Seacons.
What?
A gang of rogues who roamed the spaceways in their flying galleon in search of riches.
Why do you need
Nautilator's toy wasn't part of this version of the team, leaving only 5 members. Snaptrap was recolored to become Half Shell, a noble captain who genuinely cared for his loyal crew.
Wow.
Scalor became the elderly Sealagon, prone to dozing off. Overbite became Sea Phantom,
These 5 got into
always first
Earthwars
into
before
a
the
fight.
originals.
Seawing became Terrormander, the easygoing
Terrormander.
They were
junior
kind of
member
pissed to
the
find
crew.
out there was already a team named Seacons.
Really?
Yeah, no, Half Shell was lamenting that he really should have trademarked it. And then resolved that, well, in that case, we just gotta steal enough shit that we're the notorious ones. And they have to vie for recognition with the name.
And Tentakill was now the vain and short-tempered Scylla, the crew's only
they
female member, named
so
after
they do
the sea monster
transform.
from Greek mythology.
In this
Together,
one, yes.
the team combined into God
God, I
Neptune.
wanted this toy.
As seen in the Beast Wars second
That's surprising.
animated
It looks pretty
series,
good
the
here.
Seacons frequently clashed with Lyo convoys Maximals on post-apocalyptic Earth, after arriving on the planet to harvest its Angle
Spoilers.
energy. Several episodes focused on a comedic love triangle involving Maximal Bison Bighorn's infatuation with Scylla, who loathed him and only had eyes for Bighorn's teammate, fellow squid Scuba.
Well then.
And
The
also the
Seacon
weird
toys
android
were
in the moon
planned-
also wanted to jump Scuba's bones.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently the squid had Riz.
That's
It's not a statement I was expecting to say today.
not expected to be something I would ever hear in my lifetime, but okay.
For another re-release in 2004.
Oh, they were in
Transformers
Energon?
Energon toy line.
They
Well,
were
New
not,
purple,
actually.
Orange, blue,
I
and
mean, the
black color
toy
scheme,
line, but
as new characters named
No, they weren't.
Piranha
Wait, what?
Who
This was intended to be an exclusive set, presumably released as Terracons or something,
Okay.
but it was actually scrapped and never released.
Damn.
Until the Collectors Club picked up the coloration, re-released them, but by that point the molds were so degraded they didn't hold together very well.
Oof.
combined into Piranha King.
But they
the
were
set
in
was
classics
cancelled.
at that point.
But it was
Instead, it wound
canceled.
up being released 4 years later as an exclusive from the Transformers Collectors Club, with the characters now reimagined as the Seacons from the Marvel comic, who had taken
They
on
killed
these
Bludgeon.
new colors after being brought
Oh.
back online following their deaths.
pretty
at
fucking
Starscream's
impressive.
hands. This
Yeah.
Like, they
release led
snuck
to
up on the
Seacons appearing in
Like, they snuck up on a fucking samurai, on a skeleton samurai, constantly going on about how about how he's followed the path of the Ultimate Warrior, and fucking, combined behind him without him noticing and wasted his ass.
That's insane and improbable.
Incredibly improbable. Bludgeon was very off his game that day, I guess.
I guess so.
That said, that art goes hard.
Yeah, that's really good art. I don't know who this is, though.
Abominus. I actually have his G1 toy over here.
Who? Well, we'll probably learn about a video of him, so I probably shouldn't ask who yet.
There's not much to say. He's Abominus.
He's abominable.
Several pieces of club-exclusive media continuing the story of the Marvel Universe. First, while serving as moles for Megatron, the team brought down Bludgeon's renegade faction of Decepticons from within. Later, they were hurled through time to prehistoric Earth in a story that mashed up the original team and the Beast Wars space pirates into one. Not later and Tentakill were destroyed once more after their bodies were overloaded by Earth's excessive energon radiation.
Welcome to Shatterglass Beast Wars.
To adopt protective...
wait, Shatterglass... There's a Shatterglass...
Basically, there's 2 Shatterglass Beast Wars, and we only got to see one of them. Basically, after Shatterglass Ultramadness blew up the Classics universe, and all they were able to save from it was Earth, which fell into orbit around Shatterglass Cybertron. 2 ships that were nearby got thrown back in time to prehistoric Shatterglass Earth. Ultra Magnus's ship and Megatron's ship, which happened to have the Seacons, Dirge, and I want to say Thrust? Who then took on their Beast Wars 2 appearances, except for Nautilus and Tentakill, who just fucking died because they were the ones who had the misfortune of discovering, oh shit, energon radiation.
Well then. Sounds like a bad time for them.
Yeah, no, and Megatron's in his second G2 body.
Oh, I remember this look. A little bit, at least.
Armor to avoid sharing their fate, changing their colors to match their Beast Wars counterparts in the process.
If you're wondering why Tentakill had to die.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, they raided 3 protoforms that Magnus's thing was carrying. All 3 were meant to be new Dinobots.
Evil Dinobots, from what I think.
Yeah, Grimlock had a hand in them.
He programmed Autobot Protoform, and who merged with them to create their new combined form, God Neptune.
Oh.
Sadly, outside the club,
and then they kicked the shit out of Magnaboss
in the 21st century. They've made a few fleeting appearances in assorted mobile games and comic books.
Not
Perhaps
surprising.
most notably, a version of the team appeared in the UK's Transformers Prime comic, in which
I haven't been able to find scans of.
Killing Snaptrap and leaving the incomplete Piranacon a mindless monster attacking human ships who had to be stopped by the Autobots. Now, while all the other classic combiner teams
they got a little cryo
toys as part of the Prime
a lot of
Wars
combiners got
toy lines between
they invented some
2015
new
and
combiners.
2018. For a while, it looked like the best the Seacons were going to manage was a set of combining minifigures from the Creo building block line. Until just a few months ago, when it was finally announced that updated modern Seacon toys are finally heading our way.
Those
as
are
part
big
of the
ones
Transformers
too.
Generations Select.
Yeah, they were actually
line.
retooled
We've
from
only
Bomb
seen
this.
a few prototypes so far, so it'll likely be a while before the whole.
And then they
team is
got wrapped
released.
up
But while we're waiting,
in the fucking
let's hear
Generation
that
Select
song
storyline, which is...
Oh my god.
I could explain Generation Selects, but I'm going to need a fucking whiteboard. To write down the timeline, because of all the time travel, the fact that it takes place in the universe before the G1 universe. It's just all over the goddamn place.
I can tell. But, maybe we should...
Generation Select is kind of a fucking nightmare.
I'm not surprised. Maybe we should take a look at Shatterglass at some point. What do you guys think? Should we take a look at the video on Shatterglass? It's up to you.
Their samurai is a cowboy.
That makes a little too much sense, if you know what I know.
Oh, I know exactly what you know. All those samurai moves that got adapted into westerns.
More like the other way around, but anyway.
Dude, A Fistful of Dollars was not the original. You're going to have to accept that.
No, I mean in terms of Western movies first came about. Before samurai movies. Especially Westerns.
I'm just saying, A Fistful of Dollars, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm pretty sure those were both adapted from Japanese cinema.
Yes, and we also have the Magnificent Seven. They follow the same beats here. they could just be created along the same lines, and honestly, whether or not they take, what's the right word? Representation or ideas from are speculated on. But, either way, what do you guys think of the Seacons? Do you want them to come back? Do you think they're great? Do you hate them completely and think they look silly? Let us know down in the comments. And
I think they're a cool idea that's never getting elaborated on.
Probably not.
Because there's just not a lot you could do with an ocean-based team, even in a setting where most of the combatants don't go near the ocean.
Well, the main problem being, well, they're a combiner team without someone to usually fight, because the Stunticons have Superion and the Aerobots. The Destructicons...
Does Devastator fight?
Devastator? I don't remember really off the top of my head.
No one. He doesn't have a counterpart.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
The closest he has to a counterpart is Raiden.
Anyway.
And they were introduced like 3 years apart.
I strangle you.
I unstrangle me.
No, that's not how that works. Anyway. Thank you all so much for coming by once again. And yeah, Fable's been doing some reactions to some of these that we haven't watched yet. So go check out his videos. How do I know that? I'm subscribed to him and I see all the videos that he's posting. I haven't watched them more or less. We'll probably take some more time to do that. But yeah, you can watch them over on his channel. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.